Morning Date. With a distinguished career under his belt, Dr. Linus von Castelmur is the ambassador of Switzerland to Korea, representing one of the most developed nations in the world, known for its amazing culture, beautiful landscapes, and quality of life. Morning Date starts now. Welcome to another edition of Morning Date, a segment where we get to sit and chat with outstanding figures from all fields and walks of life. And today I have the incredible honor and pleasure of sitting down with none other than the Swiss ambassador to Korea, Dr. Linus von Castelmur. Thank you so much for coming to the show, Ambassador.
My pleasure. Good morning, Kelly, and good morning, EBS listeners. It's a privilege and a pleasure for me to be with you this morning.
We're very, very happy to have you. Before we start with the long-anticipated interview, let's give our listeners a quiz first. Switzerland is known for a famous dish that involves dipping various foods in melted cheese. Is it number 1, fondue, number 2, flan, or number 3, poutine? One more time. Switzerland is known for a famous dish that involves dipping various foods in melted cheese. Number 1, fondue. Number 2, flan. And number 3, poutine. If you know the answer, use our Pandiboro Kakao Talk Plus for free or text to pound 1045. And a reminder that we're giving away a Swiss self-travel book to 5 different listeners today. So let's start with the interview. I'm very excited. Ambassador, did you arrive in Korea last year? That's what I heard.
1st of September last year, yes.
1st of September. So you haven't been here for not too long, maybe a couple of months. Have you done some traveling?
We did, yes, and we enjoyed it very much. We traveled twice to Busan. We went to the International Film Festival, very interesting. We went also to the Busan Biennale. We went to Gwangju also, to the Gwangju Biennale. And I met many Korean and Swiss entrepreneurs working in Korea.
Wow, you've done a lot in the past couple of months. Well, we want to know where to go in Switzerland. I mean, you're here in Korea now, but Switzerland is a very famous destination for travelers here in Korea. So we want your list of the must-see places in Switzerland. Could you recommend some?
Well, let me start with the old classic destination, which is Jungfrau region in the Bernese Oberland. Many Koreans know it and like it, the pristine nature, the gorgeous mountains, the glaciers and all that. But I would suggest 2 other destinations. One would be the Glacier Express, which is a mountain railway from St. Moritz in Graubünden, which is the eastern part, southeastern part of Switzerland, to the western part of Switzerland, all along the Alps. It's stunning, beautiful landscapes, beautiful mountains, and it's very relaxed on the train. You're there for several hours and you can enjoy the beautiful nature.
Yeah, Switzerland is known for its nature. I mean, we see on Puerto Radio right now, beautiful pictures. Is that the train that you were just talking about?
Exactly. That's one of the spectacular viaducts, many tunnels, and it's very high up in the mountains. It goes up to 2,500 meters, so It's really spectacular.
Oh dear, 2,500 meters. I don't know if I want to look down from the train, but it sounds like a very thrilling experience. Yeah, so we'll make sure we go there.
That is on the cultural, on the nature side for nature lovers. But if you love culture, I would suggest also that you go to Basel. Basel has fantastic museums. It's the city in the north of Switzerland, a hub of pharmaceutical industries in Switzerland. And they have fantastic museums. There is also a very big art fair, Art Basel, and many museums. So if you are more on the cultural side, then I would suggest to people to go to explore also Basel, the foundation, Bayer Foundation, for instance, and many other things.
Yeah, I mean, if we're flying all the way to Switzerland, we should get both, right? Culture and nature.
Absolutely, and it's such a tiny country and it's so easy to move around, you know.
Yeah, nature, culture, great, but what about food? Food and customs. Have you tried a lot of Korean dishes?
We did, yes, and we like very much Korean dishes. I think especially the grilled beef we love, the bulgogi, and also the fantastic side dishes. So it's very nice. It's not only one thing you order, but you get many different things and tastes, and that we like very much. The other fantastic thing we discovered is seafood. I never had such delicious seafood as in Korea. The oysters from Tongyang, for instance, gorgeous, fantastic, very tasty.
Very, very delicious and savory. Well, then when we talk about food in Switzerland, though, I cannot stop raving about fondue. Now, fondue, we might think it's more like a dessert, but actually it's in the main meal, right? And you can dip anything in cheese. I've been to a Swiss restaurant here in Korea. There's one in Itaewon, and you can dip meat in cheese. It's so delicious. Steak in cheese.
The Swiss version would be bread mostly, sometimes
bread.
potatoes normally,
Okay.
but why not? I mean, you can do everything you want with the dishes.
Yeah.
But it's not the kind of orthodox fondue, I would say.
Oh.
Did you taste also raclette? Raclette is very nice also.
No, not yet.
Kind of hot cheese you grate from the cheese and you eat it also with pickles and with potatoes. Very delicious also.
Ooh, what was the name again?
Raclette.
Raclette. Okay. Can you give us a spelling? I have to look it up. Is it? It sounds kind of French.
It is, yes. Raclette.
Okay. Raclette. Next. Oh, is that what we see on Pointed Radio?
Exactly.
Oh, it looks so delicious because the cheese is melted on the spot.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. Okay, now we're all very, very, very hungry. I hear that it's really trendy these days in New York to eat raclette.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I guess maybe that trend will come to Korea soon too. Well, talking about Switzerland, it's also the cradle of the web, the World Wide Web, WWW. This means, it basically and literally paved the way for our current lifestyle. I mean, we can't live without the internet, right? So I heard that the World Wide Web was created by a scientist from Switzerland. So how embedded is technology, right, in everyday life in Switzerland?
Very much so. Switzerland is, as you said rightly, a very high developed country. It's based on knowledge, research, development, and innovation. And people are well educated and they use technology in their everyday life. In this sense, we are very similar to Koreans, I think.
Yeah, so we can feel safe going there with the bali culture with the internet speed.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, talking about technology, actually, Kwon Sujin-nim, one of our listeners, asks, "Welcome to the show, Mr. Ambassador. Let me ask you something. Why is Switzerland famous for watches?"
Well, this is the precision industry. Swiss people are very keen on precision and on keeping on time, staying on time. So it was invented in the early ages, in the 16th, 17th century. And it's very often, it was farmers who in the wintertime, when they couldn't farm, they began to do these mechanical instruments. And so they developed the watchmaking industry, which has become a very important industry. Switzerland is selling watches for $20 billion US a year. Which
It's
is
probably the biggest market for watches, right, in the world. Yeah, so Switzerland is great for technology, culture, food, and everything, I guess. All right, well, we're in the middle of the conversation with our ambassador from Switzerland today. Before we move on, let me remind you of the quiz. Switzerland is known for a famous dish that involves dipping various foods in melted cheese. We briefly talked about it. What is it? Is it number 1, fondue, number 2, flan, or number 3, poutine? If you know the answer, use our bandi board or KakaoTalk Plus for free, or you can also text to pound 1045, and we're giving away to 5 people the Swiss travel book. All right, let's take a song break before we move on with the interview. Here is Cliff Richard with Early in the Morning.